things will come out instead of bad things. You constantly think about charity and love and honesty and truthfulness and righteousness and benevolence, then some benevolent act will come, righteous act will come, some charity will come. You continuously think about robbery and murder and all these sort of things, then today or tomorrow that's going to happen from you. Somebody who continuously think about suicide, there is all possibility he commits suicide because that's what he is thinking. But somebody who always thinking about helping somebody and doing something good or help, that he is bound to do something good because that's what he is thinking about. So our, the want of conformity to the nature of God is sin. So when we are thinking something that is contrary to the nature, then that something will come out as a sinful deed and we cannot escape from it. Sin is what is unlike God. 7. Sin is what is unlike God. God created man in his image and in his likeness. There was a moral, spiritual, personal likeness between God and man. Man lost this likeness in its purity. This state of not being in God's likeness is called sin. The opposite of wisdom is foolishness. The opposite of good is evil. So the opposite of divine holiness is sin. It actually does not matter what exercise or states in the natural nature of a moral being produces this opposition to God's image of holiness, righteousness and true knowledge. If opposed to divine nature, it is sinful. If sinful, then worthy of condemnation. So sin is what is unlike God. God is holy. If you are not holy, then it is sin. God is truthful. If you are a liar, then that is sin. God is loving. If you hate, then that is sin. Whatever is contrary to the nature of God or unlike God is sinful. God created man in his own image and likeness. Why God created man in his own image and likeness? So that man will not sin. Because that which comes from the image and likeness of God will be pure. Naturally it will be pure. But then when man has sinned, what happened? He lost, partially damaged. He didn't lose, but it got damaged. So from the damage, what image will come? You drop a beautiful, nice, mirror right on the concrete floor, still in the frame, 1,000 small pieces. You pick it up like that and look at your face. What do you see there? Well, it's your face, you see. But before the break, you looked at it, you see yourself. Now also you see yourself, but the images have no resemblance. Why? Because one you are looking after the sin, the other you are looking before the sin. That's exactly the way. People look at our face and what kind of a God they see. Because we are created in the image of God. Now we are the mirror that reflects God. So after our sin, people look at our face and they say, horrible God, terrible, fierce God. Yeah. Just like the Kali, the head in the hand bleeding, the knife in the hand, tongue is out, and the red big eyes. Does anybody feel like going and embracing and giving a kiss to that lady? I mean, if somebody does, that has to be devil. Nobody else. Even don't want it to look again. It's it's so what you call so vulgar, so repulsive. Such a picture. Yet people go and worship it. So what is the concept of God in their heart? What is the concept of God in their heart? The picture of the Jesus Christ and all is not the picture of Jesus Christ, somebody's imagination. But yet I will compliment in one thing, that at least it is not Kali. Definitely it is not Kali. Even a child will not be frightened by that picture. Some old grandma went into shopping center, And she came back home and she said, I saw Jesus Christ in the shopping center and he got frightened me. So frightened me. Yeah, he's a hippie with the rubber band, the elastic band and the long hair, and he looked at the woman like this. She was scared. She thought that Jesus Christ. That's not Jesus Christ. Nobody has, we never have a picture of Jesus Christ, but we have the picture of God, not a true picture. Those who have seen the Jesus Christ, they have seen Father, right? That's what Jesus said. Those who have seen me have seen the Father. And everybody who watches us, they are watching God because we are the image and the likeness of God. But the question is it true image and likeness, or it's a perverted image and likeness? Did anybody ever ask you that, are you God? Anybody asked you, are you God? No. Nobody asked me. I guess that's because I don't look like God. People look at me and say that, I don't know what they say, but they never came and asked, are you God? One Christmas Eve, a man was doing his shopping for his nephews and nieces and all, and then late 9 o'clock he was rushing home. It was raining very heavily. He passed a few shops and he saw a little boy, not very little, 8-9-year-old boy sitting on the veranda of a shop, completely wet, no shirts, nothing, in a little, what do you call in those days, knicker, that sort of thing, sitting there and shivering like that. He just put the brake on and he got out and he asked the boy, don't you have a home to go to? No, I don't have a home. Where do you sleep? I sleep here. You have no father? No, I don't have a father, mother. Brother says, no, nobody. I live in this street. He said, then get in my car. She got in the car. He went home, he called his wife. Wife came down and said, God has given us a son, take him, give him a good hot bath, cut his hair, nicely. I'll be back. He rushed back to the shop and bought half a dozen shirts and pants and everything and for him, and they came back, and by the time wife has bathed him and cut his hair and everything, he's an entirely different being. Shampooed his hair and body, put some soap for the first time bath, I guess, washed all those things up and put the nice clothes on, and they sat down together. Wife did, and had the nice dinner. The child was just looking at him, back looking at him like this, and his wife, couldn't understand anything, what is happening, So then after the supper and all, he took him to the room, nice room, little room, and all stars on the ceilings, these reflecting stars and all that, and read a story to him about Jesus Christ and all that, then gave him a kiss and put the blanket on him and said, son, you sleep here, this is your room. And I am your dad now on, and that's your mummy. Call her mummy, call me daddy. This is your home, this is your house, you are ours. And that boy didn't sleep all night. He just looked up and he couldn't understand anything. He grew up in the street and slept there, and ate only the waste food and all that, leftover food from hotels and this and that. So he didn't understand. So early morning, got up with eyes that are heavy, not sleeping and all that, but they have brushed the teeth first time, brushing teeth with the toothbrush and all that, and then they sat down and they had a nice breakfast, and so he was looking at it. Then the man asked, what are you looking? I said, Dad, are you Jesus Christ? Am I Jesus Christ? No, I'm not. Are you related to him? Oh, yes, I am. I knew you must be either Jesus or somebody very close to Jesus. So why? When I was, one day I heard some people preaching in the street that Jesus loves children. I was sitting there for the last 8 years, sleeping there, and people came, kicked me and robbed me and hurt me, but nobody ever loved me. This is the first time. So I realized you are Jesus or somebody closely related to Jesus. Yeah. See, my point is, when you love children, it will come out someday. Yes, your love for children will come out. We can pretend to be lovers of children, but children knows. Children knows. Whether you become a good father or not is not by how you act with children, but how children act with you. That's what. You can take children, put there, and are they comfortable? Or the children will hug you and give you a kiss and say, uncle, then you become a good father. If not, don't waste your time. You are not going to be a good father because children are not comfortable there. They know that you don't have a father's heart. There are no children living in your heart. Yes. Children will start living in your heart before children will start living in your lap and in your dining room and living room and bedroom. That's what this is. Sin will be reflected first in your heart, your thoughts, patterns and your feelings, and then it will come out. So sin is unlike unlike God. All sin is positive in that it is positive unrighteousness. When the positive goodness God created man with willfully is withdrawn, positive unrighteousness is a result. The want of congeniality with God is alienation from God. Bible calls it enmity with God. The Protestant theologians therefore call sin as non-conformity to the character of God. Sin is non-conformity to the character of God. How many of us have a character that is conformed to the nature of, conformed to God? This is a major question. Major question. God is holy. Are we holy in disposition? God is loving. Are we loving in our disposition? God is merciful and kind. What about us? God is very benevolent. Are we benevolent? God is charitable. Are we charitable? God is forgiving. Are we forgiving? God loves all people. Can we love all people? Everybody has a tendency to pick up beautiful children. By the way, there are no child who is not beautiful, but the comparatively. But people have a tendency not to pick up children who are less beautiful, some deformity, maybe some this and that. Yes. That's simply because we are not loving people. We don't love children per se. We only love some children. Yes. If you go to an orphanage to adopt children, you definitely will pick up only the best there. If they produce before you a child which has some sort of health problems and we usually will say, no, not this child, not this child, not this child. Yeah. Because we don't have the ability to love all children. That means we don't love children. We love certain preferential, love we have to certain children, that is comparing to some, they are better. That we cannot do. That we cannot do. So we are talking about sin, Yes, sin is non-conformity with God's character. But we are saved people. By the grace of God we are saved, and God expects us to be conformed to the image of God. That means we have a long way to go. Don't we still get irritated with people very easily? All that they have to do is just say a word, even don't have to do anything, just say a word. Oh, the way they looked, the way they smiled, or the way they acted, we get angry with them. It doesn't matter husband or wife. It doesn't matter children. They say that they rub the wrong way. Yeah, they rub the wrong way, and we get really angry and we rub them the wrong way too. Yes. So what I meant to say is this one, we can talk about the theory of sin and all that, Pelagianism and semi-Pelagianism and Augustinianism and Calvinism and Lutheranism and all that. But whatever it is, it boils down to what? Sin is non-conformity to the character of God, to the will of God, to the law of God. That's what it is. Are we candidates who are against God's character, against God's law, against God's ethics and all these things. We need to consider, we need to confess our sin a whole lot. Okay, we then start a new section, the proof of the original sins, that is examination of many scriptures. We will do that the next time because our time is basically up. If I do that one, then we will not be able to stop in time. So the next class, when are we? The first Saturday of next month, that will make 1 month. Or second week, whatever, convenient for you. First is, I haven't brought my diary. I think that first is okay for me.